Shalom. I want to begin this lesson by giving all praise, honor, and glory to our power, Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rachak Kodash. Double honors to the apostles and the elders of every millstone who have taught us all this truth in the spirit and power of Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, and Shaquat. And I'm back here with another lesson. Lord willing, instead of finding to the hopeful elect, Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Barakathum, to you sincere, Akim Wakwathim, and a sincere shalom to you brothers out there pushing this truth out on the highways and the byways and through the YouTube lessons, man. Shalom to you all. All willingness to be edifying and exhorting to the elect. As the lesson is entitled, Esau was not, emphasis on not, a direct heir to the covenant established with Abraham. Esau was not a direct heir to the covenant established with Abraham. And that's 100% facts. Now we're going to be dealing with a comment that was made on one of my videos from a week ago concerning the Edomites. And you know, sometimes, man, a lot of times Jake just be talking. You know, and that was pretty much the case here. Jake was just talking. Well, you Jakes out there got to realize, you people who are not as seasoned in the faith, you're not doing the work and stuff like that, you're watching. Sometimes it's just better to not talk. You know, matter of fact, and I could say that first and foremost to know, because hell, my name is literally Shaquat. It means quiet. So my name literally means quiet. You got to understand, sometimes it's better to just not say anything. Because a lot of times you Jakes just want to get off on the comment board. You know, y'all just want to say something on the comment board that's not productive. Stuff that individuals already know. You know, if you're going to put something on the comment board, have it be productive. You know, what's the point in commenting? And then you already don't got no works. It's not like you're a known brother in the faith. You're not doing any works. That's what I mean by not a known brother in the faith. Like, you go to your channel, you don't have any works. It was like, you don't really have nothing to say, in all honesty. Okay, so Jake just get to yapping at times, and it's like, sometimes, man, you got to take a step back and understand. Sometimes it's just better to not talk. All right, so without further ado, we're going to get that comment. Okay, it did come up. Great. Log in. For example, another one. This was like not a necessary comment, but you know, then it's like, okay, so there wasn't nothing to get on. You know? But anyway, Jake just be talking, and I replied, and you know, the guy didn't respond or anything of that sort. But we'll read his comment. So this guy is Brew in Babylon. So before we read his comment, let's show you his channel. Brew in Babylon, or Brewed in Babylon. Right here it says Brew in Babylon. All right, he says, let's look through all this. All right, welcome to Brew in Babylon. Blah blah blah. I write songs you hear and make the beats. I use AI voiceovers to perform the songs. I specialize in hip hop and R&B. So pretty much nothing that has to do with the truth. You're not doing nothing that's productive for the truth's sake. Now, I could be wrong. Could you probably have another channel that you're doing lessons on? Probably. Who knows? I don't. But as of right now, from what I'm seeing at face value, you don't do any works. You don't do any works. All right, this is what you're doing. All right. And it's cool to do that on the side. Nobody has an issue if you have a certain hobby that's just not, you know, it's not wicked. As long as the hobby isn't wicked. Everybody got hobbies. Brothers like going on walks as a hobby, you know, and not just seeing it as a workout. Brothers like Just sitting in nature, maybe. Brothers like watching TV shows and watching movies. I like that. Brothers like playing video games. I like that. Some brothers like just reading stuff. You know, um, everybody has a hobby that they like, that they enjoy. Some brothers maybe want to go play golf as a hobby. I'm just giving examples. So as long as you got to have a hobby, you got to live a little. Even though we're in hell, we're in captivity and slavery, you still got to live a little, because at the end of the day, hey man, we still Jake and we still got to wait on the Lord. All right, so don't just fucking burn out. This is a marathon, so don't burn out. Go at a pace, because I can't tell you what pace you could go at. Hey brother, you need to be doing a lesson every single day. I can't tell you that, but like the elder apostle Tahar said, if you're in GMS, you should be doing a lesson every day. It's not an order. The order is 3. If you're in GMS or a follower, a like-minded brother, a great millstone, that's the order is 3 a week. But honestly, being in this, you should at least be doing 1 a day. You're gonna have days where you fall off and may not do one. Of course, we're in the flesh. But yeah. Point is, I can't tell you what pace you could go at in this faith. I am not in control of that. I'm not Yahweh by Hashem Yahweh Shai. Hell, I barely know at what pace I could fucking go at. I don't even know myself like that. To be honest, I'm very young. I don't know myself like that. But the Lord knows me. So whatever pace I'm going at is by the will of the Lord. It's a pace that the Lord knows works for me, just like other brothers. Elder Apostle Hart putting up 6 videos a day. So, hey, that pace may not work for certain brothers, and that's okay. But guess what works for Apostle Tahar? So there you go. As long as the work is being done in truth and sincerity and consistently, and that's all that matters. And as long as but you could still have hobbies as long as it's not wicked. So if this is a hobby, yeah, okay, but you're not doing any work. Where's the works? You know what I'm saying? Where's the works? So when he said brood in Babylon, so I don't even think he believes that we're Israelites, because he knows we're Israelites, but I think he just believes he's a Hebrew. And you're about to see why I say that when we go to this comment. So let's go. And forgive me, my throat is Shalom. So to begin this lesson, if you drink some tea after this, but so he said, according to the scripture, as the firstborn son of Isaac and Rebekah, because Esau was the firstborn, he came out first. He said that he was a direct heir to the covenant of Abraham, the covenant that the Lord established with Abraham, starting in Genesis 15, carrying over to 17 and etc. Right, the covenant that the Lord established with Abraham before he sold his birthright. So basically he's saying, before Esau sold his birthright, he was heir to the throne, to the covenant. This is not true. And he proceeded to say according to the scripture, but didn't put up any precepts. That's hilarious. But anyway. So although Esau was not an Israelite, he was still an heir to the covenant before he sold his birthright to Jacob for food. Here's my thing. If Esau was truly an heir to the covenant, why didn't he receive the blessing? Well, he sold his birthright, but then he was not an heir to the covenant. Everything is preordained by the Heavenly Father. All right, we're not in control of anything. Anything that is happening currently and in the future and in the past, that was all predestinated to happen by Yahweh, by Hashem Yahweh Shai. So if Esau was predestined to sell the birthright for raw food, that means he wasn't heir to the covenant. just going off that alone. But we literally going to get some precepts that literally prove and say this nigga is not heir to the throne. Says maybe that's what he means by, he talking about the Edomite in the video. He said maybe that's what he means by converted back to the covenant. First of all, that's not what he meant. If you watch the video, then that Edomite was basically saying this so-called quote unquote, I'll show you. That's not what the nigga was saying at all.
18, right? Just a little bit farther in Obadiah.
I don't got my volume up.
And the house of Jacob shall be a fire, and the house of Esau for stubble, and there shall not be any
Point in time.
I'm going to continue it. Jeremiah 49:13.
Who is trying to skip to it? Early wicked ways. There you go. Cain and Abel. All right. Sacrifice. I'm on what? The Israelites. To surpass the Lord, meaning, oh man, God damn. The serpent,
is the fulfillment of the first, right? The separation being cut off. Now, after Jerusalem had fell, the Babylonians had weakened the Edomites. And with that happening, the Nabateans pushed the Edomites south of their home to the Edomites. Cut off. Now, after Jerusalem had fell, the Babylonians had weakened the Edomites. And with that happening, the Nabateans pushed the Edomites south of their home to a land that became known as Idumea. Now, in about the 2nd century,
Idumea,
there came a Hasmonean Jewish ruler named John Hyrcanus. Now, John Hyrcanus had conquered Idumea and forced the Idumeans to convert back to Judaism, bringing them back into the fold. Now, that's where the issue lies. With that being said, John Hyrcanus Idumea and forced the Idumeans to convert Jewish ruler named John Hyrcanus. Now, John Hyrcanus had conquered Idumea and forced the Idumeans to convert back to Judaism, bringing them back.
So that's what the dude said in the video. He's saying that that's maybe what he means by converted back to the covenant. No, he just meant, it wasn't about a covenant. He meant them converting back to being an Israelite. Which if you watch the video, Jake, because it means you clearly didn't watch the video. You didn't fully watch it. If you did, I explained literally right after that. And I'm going to put it in as few words as possible right now. You can watch the video if you want to see. I explained how, first and foremost, how can you be brought back into something or reunited with something, converted back to something you weren't a part of in the first place? You can't be converted back to something if you were never a part of it. You're just being converted. They were never a part of being an Israelite in the first place, so they weren't converted back to anything. So that's not what he meant. All right, he was going into something completely separate because the nigga just trying anything to save Esau. Now let's continue on. It says, but Hebrews, which Esau is a Hebrew. So who you talking about when you say Hebrews? Now I know there's a few times in the scriptures where when it say Hebrews and it's referring to Israelites, but there's a few nations that are Hebrews. You got East Edomites, they're Hebrews, Moabites, Ammonites, Ishmaelites, Elamites. Those are all Hebrews. It says, but Hebrews were not Jews, so he is still lying. Well, something is wrong with Jake. The guy is saying Hebrews weren't Jews. So you saying there weren't Jews in the Bible that were the people of the Lord that were Israelites? See, that's why Jake just sometimes need to not say anything. You just causing confusion. You understand? You just shouldn't say nothing. And I'm going to explain what Jews is in my comment that I responded to him with. So we're going to get to that soon. That covenant had nothing to do with converts to Judaism, which Judaism is not. It's bullshit. It's a false religion. All right, we didn't celebrate no Judaism. When you go into the scriptures, Judaism does not come up one time. Let's type it in. As you see, Judaism is not in the Bible. It says, and I explained all this stuff he's talking about in the video, in the lesson. But anyway, as a collective, we need to start worrying about what the converts have to say about all this. Nigga, you can only be converted if you're an Israelite. You can only be converted to the faith if you're an Israelite. Heathens are not allowed. Read Deuteronomy 23. So I don't know. This guy is off. All right. Let's keep going. I'm struggling here. Forgive me. I'm through right now. They don't really matter. We give what they say far too much attention, even though they showed up late. Nigga, if it's going to be edifying, let's shed light on it so people can be edified. You think you have so much knowledge and stuff. Well, how about you just start teaching? We're not here to get advice from you. Now, did I consider that part, the whole they don't really matter, we give too much attention to them? Yeah. But even then, nigga, it's for edification's sake. We're not here to be taught. We already have elders. We already have brothers. We're here to teach you. They are not the authority they like to pretend to be. They don't even follow the blueprint from the foundation. They trace the Ish lineage through the mother, which is not Ish people, it's Israelite. But they do go through the mother. They do. That's what Esau does. But he knows it's through the father. It's an inversion. You know who else tries to subvert or invert the will of God through deception? The scriptures say Hebrew Israelites. Okay, so he did actually say Israelites, so he knows it's Israelites. Okay, so forgive me for what I said before concerning that. I must have read over it and skipped over that the first time I read it. It says, the scriptures say Hebrew Israelites have their, trace their lineage through the Father. Well, yeah, we know that. Numbers, the first chapter, verse 1 and verse 18. They are not descendants of Israelites. Well, we know the small hatters are not descendants of Israelites. They're descendants of the Amalekites, which is the tribe of Edom. So basically, they're Edomites. We already know this, Jake. And why I say sometimes it's better for you not to say anything. We know who they descend from. We know this. And I don't even know why he's bringing them up, given the simple fact that this Edomite in the video that I did the lesson on never even mentioned the small hats. He never mentioned them. So what are you mentioning it for on this comment board? And what I'm gonna say it again, sometimes it's better just not to speak. And that's scriptural, man. Let's grab that out of Ecclesiastes. I don't remember what chapter, so let me do this. Ecclesiastes 5:1. Keep thy foot when thou goest to the house of the Most High. And when you coming on a brother's lesson, camp, whatever, you're going into the house of the Lord. That's an altar. It says, and be more ready to hear than to give the sacrifice of fools. So you're supposed to be more ready to hear. If you watched the full lesson, this comment wouldn't have been made. I promise you it wouldn't have. You clearly didn't. Hell, if you watch 5 more minutes, the comment wouldn't have been made at all. But anyway, let's read that from the top. Keep thy foot when thou goest to the house of the Most High, and be more ready to hear. So you got to be more ready to hear, Jake. Shama, which means hear, to listen. Basically, shut the fuck up. You're supposed to be more ready to hear than to give the sacrifice of fools. And that's exactly what Jake did. Jake, this whole comment is just a sacrifice of it wasn't needed, Jake. And then you're going off in it. You're not only was the comment not necessary, you're going off. Had you have made this comment on Elder Manata Zakbar page or something, it has to be getting Swiss cheese. But spiritually, of course, not physically, not carnally. But they consider not that they do evil. And you ain't considering that you doing something evil. You should just close your mouth because you're going off too. It says they can't just force, forgive me, they are not descendants of Israelites. They are Europeans. They are not Europeans. They are Edomites. What are you talking about? They are not Europeans. They are Edomites. If anything, us Israelites and the Japhites should be called Europeans before Edomites are called Europeans. If anything, but it says they are Europeans. No, converted to a cult-like religion, which, see, this shows you Jake don't understand nothing, man. There's nothing wrong with a cult, man. The word cult, I'll show you. Let's just get the word cult. The definition of cult is a relatively small group of people, and that's, I can definitely say that's us, you know. But anyway, a relatively small group of people having beliefs or practices, especially relating to religion, that are regarded by others as strange or even sinister, and we're regarded as that. But you also have other religions that's regarded as that, or as imposing excessive control over members, which this is just what a wicked cult would do. All right, so there you have righteous cults, you know, or just a general definition of a cult, and then you have the definition of what a wicked cult would look like. This would be this included of a wicked cult. Our apostles and elders and all that, they don't impose excessive control over us, so we wouldn't classify as a wicked cult. All right. If Apostle Tahar, you know, said jump off a fucking cliff, are you gonna fucking jump off a cliff, nigga? No, you're not. You know, so what the fuck? We're not blind followers. We're not like these other camps and groups and other false ass religions where y'all are just damn zombies. We're not zombies. We listen to what our elders and apostles taught us, and then we went and searched it out for ourselves to see if it was true, you know, doing the work like the Church of Berea. So we wouldn't fit that wicked cult aspect. And the apostles would never command us or try to order us to do something that they wouldn't do themselves. They wouldn't do that shit. They wouldn't order us to do. Yet you have other groups out here when the C Ragamuffin, the Yee, you know what I'm saying, that step back shoot Steph Curry, you know what I'm saying, came out. Our apostle said don't take it, but other groups is talking about take it, man. You a bitch if you don't take it. You scared of needles, nigga. What? Take all of them. All right. Similar words is a sect, which is also mentioned in the scriptures, denomination, church, faith group. So these cult means whatever these words also mean. So you have righteous cults and you have wicked cults. Everything is a cult. When you go to job, when you go to work, that's a cult. All right, that's a cult. You get a car. Maybe it's branded Chevrolet. All right, that's a cult. You know what I'm saying? So Everything is a cult. You have to decipher whether it's a wicked cult or a righteous cult, Jake. That's how you know you don't really know what's going on. Some of the cult like religion. But you gotta understand cult. It's a righteous cult or a wicked cult. But anyway, regardless, nonetheless, they that what the small hats believe in will be classified as a wicked cult. Of course, they I'm not gonna explain what they do. You know what they do over there in the land. Let them have their Judaism and be Jews. Well, they don't. They're Jew. Then you got to add the ish, which means to be likened to, but not that. Partially, kinda. You know what I'm saying? So there's nothing wrong with. Listen, he has a problem with the word Jews. You don't even know what the fuck Jews mean. And we're gonna get to that in my reply. They can't just force their way into that covenant, and they won't. Relax. But the whole point of the Illuminated Rothschilds and the other elites is to get their birthright back. Do your research. So they're gonna try to get the birthright back. That's Esau's job. He's gonna seek it out carefully with tears. He's desiring it back. It says, but it was never his. It says they might be able to fool the Europeans who'll prop them up, but they aren't fooling the Most High. Nobody's fooled by them damn small hats. Not even their own people. Their own people despise them even. So nobody's fooled by them. So yeah, we should not even want to be Jews. Why the fuck? I know I'm well, at least I believe that I'm from the tribe of Judah. I know I'm from the southern kingdom. No, if even if it ain't Judah, it's found out to be when Yahushua come back. It ain't Judah. I know I'm from one of the southern kingdom tribes. I just got that southern kingdom spirit on me. Nonetheless, I'm a Jew. I'm a Jew. Now you have northern kingdom Israelites who aren't Jews. Like if a brother's from the tribe of Naphtali, he's not a Jew. But if a brother's from the tribe of Judah, Benjamin, or Levi, you're a Jew, and you're literally a Jew if you're from the tribe of Judah. So I would be a Jew. What do you mean we shouldn't want to be Jews, nigga? I'm a Jew. What the fuck are you talking about? Why am I gonna have an issue claiming to be a Jew? That's what I am. It says he said it makes me sick hearing some of our people demanding to be counted as Jews. Well, if you're from the southern kingdom, nigga, you are a Jew. So there's nothing wrong with that. They didn't say, hey, I want to be Jewish. They didn't say that shit. Damn, I done said it. But you get the point. They didn't say I want to be that. They said I want to be a Jew. I'm a Jew. What's wrong with that? What's wrong with that? He said, we are Hebrew. Hebrew what? We ain't just Hebrew. We Hebrew what? Because you got Hebrew Edomites, you got Hebrew Ishmaelites, you got Hebrew Elamites, you got Hebrew Ammonites, you got Hebrew Moabites, etc. What Hebrew are we? We ain't just Hebrew. When Apostle Paul said in Romans 11 and in 1 Corinthians, are they Hebrew? So am I. He also said, are they Israelites? So am I. So Hebrew what? You said it earlier. Hebrew Israelites. We're not just Hebrew, we're Hebrew Israelites. What sense does it make to convert to imitation to it? What the hell are you talking about? This whole paragraph is just like, whoa. You know what I'm saying? Just showing you Jake need to be quiet. Let's read this one more time. Ecclesiastes 5:1. I hope Jake sees this video so you can get a better understanding and learn from this. Because at the end of the day, we don't, we hate our people, but we don't hate our people. All right. When I say we hate our people, but we don't, we still love you. You are people. You're Israelites, and we hope, we wish all of you would be saved. But that's not our will, and that's not of our power, and that's not Yahweh Bashim Yahushai's will. All right, so only elect can be saved. But at the same time, shit like this, it makes you hate Jake. Like, nigga, just don't talk. Just don't talk. All right, so I got to talk to you like I talk to my ribs sometimes. Just don't talk. Don't talk. You know what I'm saying? Stop talking. Because Jake don't get it. Stop talking. Just don't fucking talk. I'll talk to you like you a woman or a kid. Ecclesiastes 5:1. Keep thy foot when thou goest to the house of the Most High, and be more ready to hear than to give the sacrifice of fools, for they consider not that they do evil. So you're supposed to be more ready to hear than to just give a foolish, vain sacrifice, meaning you just spewing your whatever bullshit comes to mind. And that's exactly what Jake did. And I replied, and I said Esau was not a direct heir to the blessing. He was not. And the tribe of Judah, and then I put / Southern Kingdom, Benjamin Levi, Benjamin Lawyer, is called a plethora of times throughout the scriptures Jews. And just to show you, let's just type the word in. Da, 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 da. Oh, shit. Jews occurs 257 times and 244 verses in the KJV, not including the Apocrypha. Holy shit. Let's click on what Jews mean. Oh, shit. I could have just... Oh, well, you get it. Let's just click on what it means. I'd rather do it from here. It say Yehudi, but it's really Yahwadah. Yahwadah. Jew means Judah, as I was saying. Judah, it say Jehudah, but it's Judah, i.e. Judah. Jehudite, but it's really a Judite. All right, Judite. Judah. Or you can claim it to be Southern Kingdom, because Southern Kingdom is often referenced as well. All right. As Jews, right here, Nehemiah 1 and 2. That Hanani, one of my brethren, came, he and certain men of Judah, and I asked them concerning the Jews, the southern kingdom, that had escaped, which were left of the captivity, and concerning Jerusalem, the northern kingdom. You understand? So you got to get a better understanding before you just get the right. You know what I'm saying? You got to let your tongue cling to the roof of your mouth for a little bit, or for a lot bit in your case. Just don't talk, man. Just don't talk. So this is what Jew means. So why the fuck wouldn't I be one called? Why the fuck would I not want to be considered a Jew if I'm from this tribe, or from the Southern Kingdom in general? Why wouldn't I want to be called a Jew? Nigga, I'm wrong for calling myself who I am, or a fellow brother or sister is wrong being from the tribe of Judah or the Southern Kingdom calling himself a Jew. They're wrong for that. We're the true Jews, and they're wrong for that. They ain't say we're the true Jewish. They said we're the true Jews. Just like we ain't saying we the true Israelis, we saying we the true Israelites. What the hell are you talking about, man? Jake don't know what the hell is going on. You go over here, type this out. Jews. Yeah, it comes up like this now. Blowing me over here. Search, bitch. Ain't over here playing games. They lying. Jews come up. I just don't know how the hell to say it in the... Oh, my slow ass. Forgive me. This is 1611. It still comes up. They bullshitting me right now. It's 1611. I'm putting damn J and shit. That's why it ain't coming up. Here you go. Look at that. Put a J and shit. That's why I wasn't coming up. I'm tripping. I forgot it's 1611. Ain't no J's. There you go. Look at that. And let's go down to show you from the Apocrypha. Let's just jump to 9. Page 9. Well, it should be more. Yeah. I know it'll come up in the Apocrypha. Yeah, look. In the Apocrypha. That's what I was trying to find. Look, even the Apocrypha. How many times does it come up in the Apocrypha? Does it say it? Yeah, it comes up 114 times in the Apocrypha. And that's Jews. Let's type in Jew. Jake, you just gotta get a better understanding. Forget the yapping at the mouth, yeah. Jew comes up 305 times throughout the regular KJV Bible. What about in the Apocrypha? It comes up 124 times. So you cannot make this shit up, Jake. Gotta relax. So start from the top. I said Esau was not a direct heir to the blessing. In the tribe of Judah / Southern Kingdom, is called a plethora of times throughout the scriptures Jews. Jew is short for Judah. We just proved that. We are not just Hebrews. We are Hebrew Israelites. Jerusalem, and I put in the parentheses names that we are also considered throughout the scriptures, which is Jerusalem, Jews, Israel, Jacob, Zion, and etc. that I didn't even name. You need to relax and just watch and learn. And that's the only thing I can tell you. That's the only advice I can give you, Jake. I hope you watching and I hope you listen to it. Just relax. You need to relax, just watch and learn. Ecclesiastes chapter 5, what we read should be your favorite verse right about now. Don't talk. And I put up Romans 9 verse 10. And not only this, but when Rebekah also had conceived by one, even by our father Isaac, for the children being not yet born. Now this is concerning Jacob and Esau. This guy said, we could go into Genesis 25 and all that, break it down when Esau sold his birthright. We can go to Genesis 27 when Jacob actually got the birthright and Esau had to get blessed with something else. But all of what he said to disprove it is right here in Romans 9. Let's read it again. Romans 9 and 10. And not only this, but when Rebekah also had conceived by one, even by our father Isaac. Who was the sons of Isaac? Jacob and Edom, or Slakia, Jacob and Esau. For the children being not yet born, so Jacob and Esau weren't born yet, neither having done any good or evil. They didn't even get a chance to do any good or evil yet. They're damn fetuses. That the purpose of the Most High according to election might stand, not of works, but of him that calleth. Therefore, they were chosen according to who the Lord chose. They weren't chose according to what their works were. The Lord chose beforehand, as the Lord works with predestination. He predestinated everything before the foundations of the earth. The scriptures say that many of times. Verse 12, it was said unto her, unto Rebekah, and you read this also when you go to Genesis 25, you will see this as well. This is basically a quoting of Genesis 25. And it was said unto her, Rebekah, the elder. Who is the elder? What did this guy say? According to the scripture, as the firstborn son of Isaac and Rebekah, he was a direct heir to the throne or to the covenant of Abraham before he sold his birthright. So although Esau was not an Israelite, he was still an heir to the covenant before he sold his birthright to Jacob for food. Well, let's read this again. Let's read this again. Start at verse 11. For the children being not yet born. So the children weren't born yet. Meaning this was already going to be established before they were even born. This was established before they were even a thought in the womb. Before they even made it to these lives. So for the children being not yet born, and let's jump down, it was said unto her, Rebekah, the elder shall serve the younger. So just because he was the firstborn does not mean he was heir to the inheritance, because it said the elder shall serve the younger. Well, who was the elder? It was Esau. Who was the younger? Jacob. So it was already in the plans for Jacob to inherit the blessing. So the heir to the blessing was Jacob. That's why Jacob got the blessing. Said the elder shall serve the younger. Therefore showing you Jacob was heir to the blessing. Just like Isaac wasn't the firstborn, Isaac was the secondborn. But guess what? He was heir to the blessing, not Ishmael. It says, the elder shall serve the younger. You can't make this shit up. You cannot make the Lord up. Verse 13, as it is written, Jacob have I loved, but Esau have I hated. So Esau was never an heir to the blessing. Never. Not a chance in the fucking world. He was never heir. It was always Jacob. Always. Always. All right, so anyway, with that being said, I'm going to just end it off there. I hope and pray that it was edifying to someone out there listening and learning. I want to close it, by giving all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh Bahashem, Yahweh Shai Bahashem Rachakurash. Double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone who have taught us all this truth in the spirit and power of Yahweh Bahashem, Yahweh Shai. And until next time, Abba Babal, Kwam, Yasharala Gadol Abadium, Lababal, Hagadol, Yahweh Mahar, Wa Ahabathum. And until next time, I would like to say unto you all, Shalom. All right, and I might change the title of this lesson as well. So, anyway, Shalom.